The Supreme Court has made it clear that mandatory board exams cannot be held this year in view of the pandemic, and any optional exams for students wishing to appear can only take place after a detailed timeline for the same is submitted before the court for further consideration, allowing the Central Board for Secondary Education, commonly known as CBSE, and the Indian Certificate for Secondary Education, ICSE, to proceed with their respective alternative evaluation schemes. The top court asked them to ensure a dispute resolution mechanism for students wishing to apply for correction of the final result declared by the concerned boards. In absence of board exams this year, CBSE will calculate final marks for class 12 students on the basis of marks secured in the best of 3 out of 5 subjects in the final exams of class 10th and 11th and the pre-board or midterm exams of class 12th, while the class 10th and class 11th marks will get 30% weightage apiece for evaluation. Marks from class 12th will get 40% weightage. Each school affiliated to the CBSE board will have to constitute a result committee to account for best of 3 marks for students for their academic evaluation. Decisions taken by the school's result committee will be vetted by CBSE's moderation committee to rule out any undue advantage of high marking to students by some schools. The moderation committee will look into the difference in marking mechanism by various schools and ensure that all students are put on an even keel for class 12 marks. Performance of schools in class 12 board exams in the past few years will also be taken into account while declaring the final result, which will possibly affect various schools which have not really performed well in class 12 in the past 5 years, since the students will have to suffer due to no fault of their own. However, students dissatisfied with their marks will be allowed to improve on them by appearing for final exams in physical format whenever they can be scheduled, while factoring for physical constraints of the pandemic which is still continuing. ICSE board will evaluate its class 12 students on the basis of marks obtained in unit and term exams along with practical exams. The apex court will continue hearing in the case on the 21st of June and will consider further suggestions given by the petitioners, even as the boards have been asked to finalize the evaluation scheme and notify the court. It remains to be seen whether any further objections will be raised by various petitioners, since various questions are likely to be raised over the fresh scheme which has been issued by the CBSE. Since the past performance of schools as well as students is going to be considered, it remains to be seen whether educationists and parents of students are going to object to the same and whether fresh petitions will be filed before the top court in this regard.